Okay, Izzy Hammond, Richard Hammond's daughter, has just had a massive crash in Formula E, and I mean massive crash. This is one of the biggest Formula E crashes I've ever seen, and I've been watching since season 1. I'm going to break it down and show you what happened and how she could avoid it. But firstly, you can see she's gone into a concrete barrier here at turn 13 at Jeddah. This is not a Tech Pro barrier. That means that all the energy has effectively reflected back into the car, and you can see that the front wing has been ejected. But with a load of energy, the front right of the car has basically exploded, the rear left is up on the air, and when you have a look at what's left of the nose cone, you can see how much energy has transferred through the nose cone and back basically into the survival cell. We hope Izzy Hammond's okay. She walked out, she looks like she's okay. But this is a huge crash, and look at how this ruptured on that nose cone. Very unusual to see this in a Formula E car. So I'm going to break down what's happened here. How did this happen? What's going on? So this is Formula E Evo sessions. It's where they get influencers to drive the cars. Mr. Beast actually crashed a car last year, and I analysed that as well because that was too much power on the exit of the corner, around the apex of the corner. This is completely different. It's a completely different crash that does make me think whether Izzy Hammond actually 100% knew the track layout or maybe got confused, because it starts with a very, very, very fast straight. So again, just letting this play forward now because you can see how much energy has gone back into that car. You wouldn't expect drivers to have a big crash on the exit of that corner. At most, you would expect them to sort of be squeezed into the barrier if another car is running them wide. So she's coming here way too hot. I'm gonna play it in slow motion, but this is at normal speed, and you can see she's not even close to making that corner. Not even close. So slowing it down now, she's coming in here way too hot. Even the professional Formula E drivers like Zane Maloney, whose car she's driving right here, I'm not even sure they'd be coming in that fast. They'd be braking earlier. But also, they're doing lift and coast and energy management. But at this point, she is carrying a huge amount of speed into the corner. And have a look at her steering wheel. You can see how much she's rotating the steering wheel, I would say, in panic. And this is one of the most interesting shots because you can actually see how much the steering wheel has been rotated here. It's crazy. Look at the handle of the steering wheel on the left-hand side. She's lost complete control of the steering at very high speed, and Formula E drivers do break their wrists. Drivers like Sam Bird, Monaco, if I remember, Robin Frines, Mexico, if I remember, have all broken their wrists in Formula E because these cars have very direct steering. So my hunch is that she's kind of maybe forgotten which corner she's at, or definitely the speed she should be taking this corner. And as a result, she's found her, this is a great camera angle as well, she's found herself mid-corner with basically nowhere to go, because at this point right here, she's carrying way too much speed in. And the interesting thing is when influencers or celebrities drive these cars, normally they'll wash out at low speeds. And this is kind of what happened with Mr. Beast. He washed out at low speed. I've driven, Ferrari GT3, these kind of cars. I've spun in them. You wash out at low speed. But this is, to be honest, incredible bravery. And again, look how much lock there is on the wheel there. There's incredible bravery. And I would be pretty scared to be in that position right there, because you are going straight into the wall, and it's not a wall that's designed to be driven into at that angle, because obviously this circuit is graded for professional racing drivers, and Izzy Hammond is not a professional racing driver. I've seen some comments, people saying like her dad would be proud, it runs in the family, and that's all like good banter. But in all seriousness, at this point here, I don't think there's anything she could have done, because she cannot get that car stopped or rotated. Arguably, at this point, she could try and straighten up and just go straight on the brakes. If you were to replay this as a scenario, maybe that would actually be the best thing to do. But you are committed at that point to hitting a barrier. Obviously, the way to avoid this would have been carrying much less speed into the corner. I'm massively impressed about how much speed she actually carried into this corner. Although, obviously, if she knew this was going to be the outcome, I think if she remembered how tight this corner is, she wouldn't have carried in that speed. It was beyond being brave. I think my hunch is, like I said, it was a moment of forgetting it. And at this point here, this is where the safety of the car has to do its thing, because think about how short that deceleration has been. That's a really short deceleration. The car hasn't bounced out either. It's like all the energy has gone into the concrete and immediately reflected back into the car, as I said. You can see also the rear right tyre there has been completely ejected, and look how far the front wing has gone off the front of that car. Like, this is one of the biggest crashes I've actually seen in Formula E, and I've been to a ton of races. I've been watching since the first ever race in China where there actually was a big crash, and arguably this is a bigger crash than Nick Heidfeld actually had in China. Now, I caught an interview with Izzy Hammond, which is fascinating because she talks about how she knew she was going to crash. She kind of like thought she might crash, but also how she got her hands off the wheel, which is really, really interesting. And she's okay as well.
No, I'm good. That was my first thought when I was sat in that wall was, oh my God, everyone's watching. My dad's watching. He's going to cry or something. Can someone just tell him that I'm okay?
Was there because obviously it must have been a huge, or did it feel like a huge impact moment? It looked like a huge impact moment.
It wasn't a small crash. If you're going to crash, you've got to really crash. Yeah, I saw the wall coming and I knew I was going to enter it at speed. But luckily, like, the one thing I was really worried about going around this track was crashing with my arms like that, because it's so tight in there for me because I'm so small. A lot of the time my wrist is completely like that, so my big worry was going in like that, snapping a wrist. So my hands were like that and it was fine. Hit the arm.
Now, I want to contrast this with the crash that Mr. Beast had, also in a Formula E car, see, behind a safety car. I think this is what the organisers would have been used to seeing in terms of crashes, where you get on the power too early and actually it's quite impressive how powerful the Formula E car. That was a big deal last year. Mr. Beast crashing this car was a big deal, but obviously when you look at the onboard, this is nothing compared to Izzy Hammond's crash. Absolutely nothing. Again, coming in here, low speed, on the power, a little bit of lot, washes out. I did notice at the time, it was interesting how Mr. Beast's crash helmet is so far over the halo, and we don't know what would have happened if Mr. Beast had rolled this car. Luckily it didn't happen. But you can see again, I'm going to show you here, this is what they would have expected drivers to have in terms of crashes that I think are good for clips, etc. But now I'm going to contrast it. I'm going to contrast it with Izzy Hammond's crash. So this is the last time I'm going to show you. Make sure to follow me, by the way. Make sure to let me know in the comments what you think happened here, and we'll do more analysis. But that is a big old crash, and I think it was just not really my hunch remembering how tight the exit of this corner is, and combined with bravery of taking so much speed in, ironically. So we hope Izzy's okay. Pretty cool thing that Formula E do here with Evo sessions, and fingers crossed no one else has a crash like this.